What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another week of NFL picks. Week 14 officially slap dabbed in December football. It is the home stretch. Listen, it's that time, man. It's playoff time. It's time to start going into playoff mode. Kansas City's already clinched a playoff spot. There are some other teams that could clinch playoff spots this week. Man, it is that time of year, around the NFL to start talking about playoffs. Not gonna waste too much time, man. Let's get right into it. We got some patience, as a lot of these games are going to have at this point in the year. So let's get in some some games but it's all good. Overall record 113-82. Lock of the week, up to 12. The Jets were leading the Seahawks for much of that game, but they ultimately could not pull it out. So team of bye weeks. The 6 teams who have not had byes yet are going to have them. Or at least in the been a rough season, but rookie quarterback Drake May, first year Gerard Mayo, post Bill Belichick. I do believe they have some money to spend this offseason. That's really going to be the still. Your future maybe is bright, New England, but the Baltimore Ravens. And Baltimore, what they have, but you still feel like there's a lot of bright spots in Baltimore with Derrick Henry, with Lamar. It feels like there's some bright spots there. The Houston Texans, who, I'm going to be honest, haven't impressed a lot of people this year, but it still feels like are well on their way to winning that AFC South. The Colts are really the only competition there is. And the Colts are on a bye week as well. They're trying to stay in the AFC playoff hunt. They're still hanging around. Day night, they're going to go into their bye in playoff position in the AFC. And Washington, very good and solid year. They had in their bye week. Heading into the playoffs. Let's get started with week 14. For the Detroit Lions, 2 teams that played on Thanksgiving play a week later exactly in an NFC North matchup. And this is going to be very, very interesting, I think. Detroit is 11-1. They have had, obviously, 10 straight wins. It's been a magical season, but the Lions are very beat up. They're dealing with injuries. And Green Bay, it feels like time. It just feels like that. They've really gotten Josh Jacobs going. Jordan Love's, defense, also has been playing relatively well. It's got to consider where both teams stand. I feel like the wise people are going to pick Detroit, probably do give them the edge here. and then being at home, you would say would, but and I feel like this is the playoffs. This is a game where I really feel like Green Bay can show about Josh Jacobs. They really might be a team that you do not want to face. Get Jordan Love going, then that might be a team you do not want to face. And it just feels like the Lions are due for a loss. So in the end, I'm going to give the edge to the Packers. I'm actually going to pick Green Bay to win. I don't know how. I feel like now in a spot where they're splitting a lot. Two very good teams. Feels like and Green Bay got Detroit in their house last year. It just feels like the Lions are due for Bay. Heading into the Sunday slate of games, 1:00 Steelers. And I'm going to say Cleveland might actually be the funnest 3-9 team I can remember. And it really makes you think what this team would look like without Deshaun Watson and with someone like Jameis Winston starting the whole year, who, yes, will give you a lot of up and down performances, but, has proven to at least make it interesting. I feel like that's what the Browns need. Just someone that can make it interesting. And that's really the big thing with Cleveland. You need someone. That being said, I feel like Pittsburgh, they lost once to Cleveland already. I just don't see them getting swept by this Browns team. Really been on a roll. I feel like a lot of people coming into the season really doubted what the Steelers could be. Russ is getting hot at the right time. And if they can get that running game going, I think, there's a big narrative about the Steelers come the playoffs, but you got to take care of your business before that. They are in the driver's seat in this AFC North. It really does feel like, Pittsburgh, they have been rolling as of lately. So I got a battle of the bottom of the NFC, the 4-8 Saints coming off a loss versus the worst team in football. And I just feel like you got to give the win to the Saints by default. They have been playing a little bit better football since they fired Dennis Allen. And the Giants, they look like a franchise with zero hope. So next game, divisional matchup in Miami, New York. It's just been a season for me. A dilemma, whenever Tua plays, obviously that's when they have the best chance to win. In comfortable environment to really operate the way they like to. I feel like you got to give this one to the Dolphins here. It's just, Miami's the better team, looking to maybe maintain a slim. Ultimately, I got to give this one to the Dolphins here. This one, you look at the records, it's definitely rough. 2-10 Jacksonville. Hope Trevor Lawrence, is okay. They head to Tennessee to take on the Titans, who first year of, Brian Callahan, Will Levis. Really, it's one of those tough matchups to pick, but I feel like it's just one you gotta favor the home team and favor the home team here. And Tennessee, and I'm gonna give this one to the Titans. Next game here, big game, and I'm gonna talk about it later in the week. Kirk Cousins returned to Minnesota, and obviously the pressure is on Kirk to really show up. I don't know if Kirk has been in these many pressure types value weight. Kirk has been in these spots before, but when you really look at the monkey that's on his back, he's had these stretch of games. He hasn't thrown a touchdown pass in over a month. Minnesota, you got to respect them. They're finding ways to win games. I just don't get I feel like they're due for a loss. I feel like Minnesota is due for a loss. And I'm going to pick the Falcons to win this game. You can call me crazy. I actually feel confident that the Falcons are going to find a way to win this game. And I might be the craziest SOB out there. I feel confident that the Falcons are going to win this game. I'll talk about it more later in the week. But I'm going to pick the Falcons to win this game. But this is a game that the Falcons need to win. Next game, NFC matchup, Carolina, who has been playing better football, but they couldn't pull it out versus Tampa, heading to Philadelphia to play probably the hottest team in all of football. Eagles coming off a big win in Baltimore. And look, this is one of those matchups. I feel like you got to respect Carolina for playing better and showing fight. But it's just hard to imagine the Eagles losing this game with how good they've been playing. Now, it's the NFL and anything can happen. It's just so hard to even match. I'm actually going to mark this down as my lock of the week. So I got to go ahead and get this one to Philadelphia. Next game here, the 2-10 Raiders, obviously been a very tough season for them as they head to Tampa to take on the Buccaneers. Now, would love to see the Raiders to the Falcons a little favor here, but I don't think it's going to happen. Tampa is, I think, far and away the better team. And Tampa, you got to listen. They've been playing better football, as hard as that is to say. They have us right on the ropes. That's why I feel like the game in Minnesota is such a must-win for the Falcons, because I honestly don't see much of a scenario where the Bucs, unless they come out absolutely piss poor, screw this game up and lose to the Raiders. It's hard to see. So with that being said, I'm gonna give the Bucs a win here. Next game here, heading into the 4:00 window in Arizona. A very important matchup in the NFC West. The Seattle Seahawks at the Arizona Cardinals. Seattle, it's been an up and down year, but recently they have really turned it on, winning. I believe they're on a 3 or very solid work that we have seen from Seattle. It's a 3-game winning streak. New York against the Jets. Heading into Arizona, and for the Cardinals, this probably is the season. This being able to stay in this race for the NFC West. this is just a game you got to have. So I got to pick the Cardinals here. They are the home team, and it always feels like with the Seahawks and Cardinals, they almost always split. So I got to go ahead and give this to Arizona here. I feel like they pull it out and get back over 500. And once again, tie atop the NFC West with Seattle. Next game, the 4-8 Bears with new interim head coach Thomas Brown heading into San Francisco to take on the 49ers. Now, I gotta be completely honest about this matchup. This is one of those very tricky games to pick. It feels like the 49ers should find a way to get this done. And I'm gonna pick San Francisco to win, but it also feels like Chicago could absolutely go on there and win because it's just been a rough season for the Niners. But it feels like they got to get back in the win column at some point. And you look at their remaining, give this to San Francisco here, even though I would not be shocked if the Bears did win, but I'm going to pick the 49ers. Next game, 10-2 Buffalo. They have also been really hot. I don't think they've lost a game since week 5. I've already locked up their division. And when you really look at it for Buffalo, they're playing great football. Josh Allen is having an MVP season. But they have a challenge. They got to go across the country to face the LA Rams. And listen, I'd be lying if I said this just wasn't one of those games you really got the feeling that Buffalo is due for a loss as well. It feels like, they're due to lose a game at some point. And, the Rams are a sneaky team. They're an up and down team. You don't know what Rams team you're going to get each week. But you get the feeling that they really have to start going into playoff mode if they want to stay in the NFC West race and, potentially maybe hope for a wild card if that opens up in the NFC. So I got to go ahead and I'm going to pick the Rams here. I feel like they get the win. It's an important week for them to really maintain position in that playoff race. So I got to go ahead and pick the Rams. Sunday night football in Arrowhead. Big game of the AFC West between the Chargers and the Chiefs. Kansas City did get the Chargers earlier in the year in LA, I believe around like week 4. And now here on Sunday night, this is going to be a very big matchup. I do believe the Chiefs can clinch the division with a win. But I'm going to be honest. Kansas City, they're just winning too many of these games by, I really feel like in the most ridiculous ways. They're due to lose one at some point. And the Chargers have been playing competitive football. They've been playing respectable football. It feels, I'm going to pick I'm going to pick the Chargers to win this game. I know it, it's the score is flipped. I'm picking the Chargers to win this game. I feel like they are due for that big win this season. So I'm going to pick the Chargers to win this game here. And really, I feel like Kansas City's due for a loss. So I got to go ahead and pick the Chargers in this game. And then Monday night, this is actually my birthday, December 9th. The Bengals at the Cowboys, and this is a really tough one to pick. But also two teams that really can be underwhelming. Cincinnati, just that defense is not good at all. And Dallas, you don't know what team you're going to get. Ultimately, I do think you got to, look at this as Dallas is still, dealing with Cooper Rush at quarterback, and he's not Dak Prescott. He's shown flashes, but he's not Dak. And I feel like, this is a night Joe Burrow comes out and he puts a show on. Does it really matter? In the end, the Bengals season is pretty much done. But I am going to go ahead and pick Cincinnati here to win. It could go either way, but I'm going to pick the Bengals. With that being said, week 14, obviously another big week of games. Obviously, I'm going big. I'm picking the Chargers to upset the Chiefs on Sunday night. And with that being said, I will see you all in the next one.